This is my Mavic 3 drone. Took this with me when my wife and I went to Lake Villicito for our 20th anniversary. We spent most of the week there. Driving home last Saturday, we spotted this beautiful river with some waterfalls. It was really no way to hike to it. And so I was flying my drone, getting some footage of this. And then all of a sudden I end up with a gimbal malfunction. The only other time I ever had something like that happen was when I treed my Mavic 2 about 2 years ago near Breckenridge. I went looking for this because I assumed I'd treat it. And so I got in the car and I was driving, and as soon as we got a reasonable distance away from the home point, my remote said returning home. Well, I thought that was a ridiculous thing. There's no way this drone is returning home after getting stuck in a tree or wherever it was. So I drove down, boy, less than a mile to where I could get access to where the water and the stream was. I hiked around in some very rugged area where there was no trail at all, and was kind of looking around trying to find my drone. And as my battery was getting low on my remote, I just kind of pulled up this flight log that actually showed my drone returning home to its home point. And said, I couldn't believe it, but all right, I'm going to give up the hunt. Let's go home, but let's go ahead and stop for grins and see if it's actually where the remote thinks it is. And so it was. But there's more to the story than that, because this is what the gimbal was doing once it landed, acting crazy like that. And then a woman in a red Prius in a black dress and no shoes shows up and picks up the drone and looks at it, and the gimbal's freaking out still. And then she sets it down and leaves. Ten minutes pass, and she comes back and moves the drone over behind a guardrail. And then she left. So when Tara and I got there to look for the drone, it certainly wasn't where I took off from, which is what it's programmed to do, is really within a couple feet of the original GPS coordinates of where it took off. If it hadn't been for this red skin on it, I don't think we would have spotted it. But Tara spotted it by the guardrail, and I just couldn't believe it. And I immediately took out the SD card to try and figure out what the heck had happened. And so that's kind of my story for this strange encounter with a gimbal malfunction and this, I guess, Good Samaritan lady who found my drone and decided to move it someplace safe so that I could claim it later. So that's my kind of blooper story for this time around. I'm going to send the drone back to DJI to see if they can repair the gimbal, replace the camera, something, whatever it needs. But anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed this story and the footage that came with it.